Hey YouTube, coming at you with a Fossil Cup team from Shane. And they mentioned that I'm not a great player. This is my first season hitting anything above 20, but I think a lot of die-hard PvP players miss the idea that special cups like these are great for newer players to battle, learn typings and matchups. While it can be annoying to power up specialty Pokemon, it can help struggling people ease into learning different matchups. And a lot of Pokemon in these cups are fairly common in other cups and are still somewhat usable in Open and Great League. I opted into using Ferrothorn with Flash Cannon rather than Thunder because a lot of times my opponent doesn't expect it and won't shield, even though there's no examples in this video. Magcargo in the lead, GOLISOPOD is the safe swap. Yeah, I think I've mentioned this a few times. I personally do not like these cups because it is just 10 Pokemon. Can feel sort of alignment dependent at time. But yeah, I have mentioned before the strengths of these limited cups, that it is, you know, the 10 Pokemon that you're going to see, you know the different matchups, you should know how much damage you're taking from each of these, which allows you to kind of adjust your strategy and kind of learn the matchups and stuff. So let's take a look at this. The one fossil couple cover. It may still be a Great League video just to get the clicks on it initially. But let's see. So Bullet Seed Credilli into a magcargo. Magcargo is weak to... Wait, Incinerate is not. Legacy, that is still on from the Talonflame. So Rock Tomb... Oh, you're double weak to Rock here, right? So Rock Tomb super effective Magcargo. Rock Tomb super effective on GOLISOPOD. I'm surprised you didn't try and grab a shield with Magcargo. Like, even though your attack was lowered, I still think you try and grab a shield on on that Credilli, but you do take it out. Scissors in. It's a non-shadow, so you'll probably live this. Bullet Punch on the water is resisted, so you probably can get to 2 moves here and maybe grab both shields right back. Or no. Yeah, it's actually smarter to let this go, because you have a Magcargo, which is just going to delete this, right? So they do shield. Honestly, it doesn't matter what move they throw. Okay, so coming to give up switch into Swampert. Hydro's resisted. Sludge is resisted. No, you got to go resisted Hydro there. So just for those who do not know, water is obviously resisted because of the grass, but sludge is super effective on grass, but steel actually double resists poison. So double resisting on the steel, super effective on the grass, means that sludge is actually single resisted. So if Hydro is single resisted and sludge is single resisted, you throw the very effective, the very hard hitting Hydro Cannon as opposed to the non-stab sludge. That doesn't hit as hard anyways. But with that, able to take that matchup as I was explaining why that was not the right move. Okay, another Credilli lead. Another Bullet Seed lead, which means they are going to get to the move first. Going to shield up the Rock Tomb. Let's see if you play it the exact same way. At least you're consistent. Getting to the extra moves each time. So your opponent was not great with fast move timing. But does it matter if you are just trying to lower your opponent's attack anyways? You know, you kind of give up that extra fast move if you just want to lower your opponent's attack. This one does shield one of your charge moves. Here comes the second charge move. Your attack is lowered, but it's still super effective. So yeah, they do commit the second shield. A super effective move will come back here. Will take you out. So Magcargo is going to come back in. Not even going to get an extra Incinerate through. Just take it out with... It's just the same... It's not the same matchup. And a Lucario on the back, so this game's over. Yeah, you got nothing to do here. It was a... Yeah, tough line here. Well, getting this off, but now Swampert can just come in... Mud Shot down and then come out with a Hydro for... Yeah, so you're top lefting here. I still think you need to put some pressure on your opponent's shields earlier, because you essentially let Magcargo use a shield and GOLISOPOD use a shield before like firing anything on your opponent. which is kind of tricky. Like it would just put you in a bad situation right off the bat. Lucario, yeah, those Force Palms adding up on magcargo because of the rock, but obviously incinerates are too. They do let the X-Scissor grow, which is super effective on the dark. Hydro resisted. Okay. Ferrothorn comes in. Yeah, X-Scissors correct because steel resists. Grass takes super effective, so it's neutral compared to the Aqua Jet, which is resisted. Here comes the second X-Scissor. They can live. It's going to be a pretty aggressive farm down. Oh, no. So you're throwing Overheat a lot in situations where you don't need it. Yes, Overheat is double super effective here. But Overheat lowers your attack substantially. So by lowering your attack substantially, you just like really limit the damage that your fast move does and everything. So I think some of those, I know Rock Tomb is resisted there, but I think you probably put it low enough that Rock Tomb would still take it out. It'd actually be close. Tentacruel. So this is very nice. It's either Scald or an Acid Spray. It is a Scald. I'd be over farming here. No, oh man, you are a newbie. Okay, sorry. So grass is neutral because water takes super effective and poison resist. So grass is neutral. Steel is resisted on water. So Power Up would be the correct move there. And Power Up is just a better move than Flash Cannon. And like, what are the stats on Flash Cannon? I know Flash Cannon is like an okay move, but Power Up is actually a pretty good move on Ferrothorn. Okay, not as much as Flash Cannon because Flash Cannon obviously does 132, but Power Up is still 108 on Ferrothorn. But yeah, Flash Cannon would have been resisted there, so don't throw a Flash Cannon into a water Pokemon. Close combat, shielded up. Kingdra, I would lower you. Yeah, and now we're throwing a water into a. Okay. Stop. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. So one, you were almost at 100 energy on magcargo, and you had a Rock Tomb and a half, and your opponent has a shield. You need to start putting pressure on that last shield. In fact, not only do you need to start putting pressure on that last shield, you need to chip this Pokemon to lower its attack, so it does less against the Golisopod, and allows your potential Golisopod to actually do some damage. The move not to throw at a Water Dragon Pokemon is Water, because Water is resisted by Water, and Water is resisted by Dragon. So X-Scissor is the move here. Aqua Jet is very resisted here. And despite that, I can still see you going for Aqua Jet. You gotta go after X-Scissor, although Outrage is gonna land and take you out. Going for that Rock Tomb, but do they catch or no? They just let it go. And Berserker is going to come in. You shouldn't be throwing here. You should just be committing to the fast move down, and you do get it. So kind of lucky in the ending there. Okay, let's get some Incinerates through here. Lapras is neutral. Yeah, but okay. Ferrothorn is obviously a great answer. And you catch a Sparkling Aria, which is nice too. Psywave is resisted on, and catching the Sparkling Aria is nice. Psywave is resisted because of the Steel. Obviously, Grass is super effective here. So that lands. You can just commit to the farm down here. Don't worry about a move. Even if it's Ice Beam, it's only neutral. Nope, just a Sparkling Aria. That's fine. They're going to come in with Power Up. Throw the Power Up. Okay. Golisopod. This is neutral. And it's a good move. So yeah, just keep putting the pressure on them. They do make a catch. That's fine. On the Fortress, they just give up Switch and allowed you to align magcargo. So instant swap magcargo. Just incinerate the crap out of this. Don't need to throw. Save all the energy. Rock Tomb immediately. Shield. Yeah, okay, this is piece of cake. Your opponent, Ooh, these are definitely 2100 games. Um, your opponent, knowing you have a magcargo in the lead, willingly giving up switch to lock in a fortress on that magcargo is the best thing I could say about that is bad. That's the best thing I could say about it. I could say a lot worse. Okay, so terrible lead for them. Double weak to fire, so they get out into Gastrodon. And again, this is something that you'll never see in... I actually like this. I like that Earth Power Shield. But this is something you'll never see in higher ranks. If you're running a Magcargo in a limited cup, of course you have an answer for a Mudboy. Like, you can never come in with your hardest answer to Magcargo. Of course they've got an answer in the back to this. So, getting off, Ferrothorn comes back in. They did get one shield from you. I still think it was worth the shield just to align the Magcargo back on the Ferrothorn. But if they're smart, they just 2v1 shield whatever's in the back here. Going for the Power Whip. This is double resisted on the grass. Yeah, it's resisted on the grass and it's resisted on the... that's why you normally throw Thunder or Flash Cannon. Because grass is resisted on the grass and grass is resisted on the steel. So Power Whip is actually double resisted. So you just let this go. One Incinerate's going to take this out. They should instant swap. Or they're going to move up. Power Up is neutral on the rock fire. So we'll chip a good amount. Yeah, and Jellicent, like, lower its attack. Yes. When they only have one Pokemon left, you absolutely lower their attack. And then Shadow Claw is super effective. You only have resisted moves. Like, I would shield a potential Shadow Ball. Like, this is your windcon here with the claws adding up a ton. I'm just going to chip some Aqua Jets here. Yeah, both moves are resisted, so Aqua Jet's the better move. One and throw. And because you lowered its attack with Rock Tomb, you should be able to live a Shadow Ball here. And then just farm down. Okay, bad lead. GOLISOPOD is obviously the safe swap here. Ferrothorn. Right now, there should be no other thought in your mind besides double shielding, like shielding everything and flipping switch. You have a Ferrothorn in the back. You have a Magcargo in the lead. You saw a Gastrodon in the lead. You shield everything and you fight for switch as hard as you can here. So here we go. Here comes another one. And they let it go. Like, that's insane to me. Yeah, that's an... Well. Okay, so Ferrothorn. What do you do here? No. I know... Bubbles resisted. Okay. So... Here's my thought process, and this is why I don't like what you're doing here. You're right that Ferrothorn is your windcon. And I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to just sacrifice magcargo and draw out the energy on a Azumarill. Or get the Gastrodon back in and draw out the energy there. It's not the worst idea. However, your GOLISOPOD has a ton of health left. Like, still just barely 50%. Azumarill would basically have to go to the play rough to take it out because Bubble's resisted. So you can still do an insane amount of damage with the Shadow Claw and X Scissor. You'd still force the energy from the Azumarill, and then you can get the Ferrothorn just to sweep in the ending. I think the only way I'm saying, like, I don't totally hate this is because I understand that GOLISOPOD does also have Bug, so that Bug will resist the Gastrodon. So you still have Ferrothorn to sweep the matchup here, but you still now have a Bug Pokemon to resist Gastrodon's Mud Slap. So I understand that, but you did give up switch that you could potentially have allowed the Gastrodon to just like come in and just overfarm and kind of with a ton of energy, and then your GOLISOPOD would have to just be sacrificed there. Didn't happen that way, but so I don't know if I totally love this. Out comes the Gastrodon way too late unless they're sacrificing this. I'm just going to try and go Ice Beam, but it's over. In fact, If it's an earth power, I'd rather shield up an earth power than an ice beam, quite honestly. Yeah, I think that's correct. And just getting this out of here ASAP because Mudslaps are neutral. And I would much rather just deal with the Azumarill than have to deal with this. Because you'll live with Ice Beam with these. Coming in here and kind of forcing it. Yeah, again, they're going to have to dump energy. So in the end, it doesn't matter. Like I think as soon as you recognize that Ferrothorn is your windcon, you're good. And how you get to it, I think I would have played it different, but I don't think it's like... I don't think the thought process behind it is wrong. Trying to catch... So, can I ask you what you're doing? Because you tried to catch a Rock Tomb, which would have been super effective on GOLISOPOD anyways, because you're half bug. And I'm looking at your IVs there with an 8 attack. You're probably going to beat most magcargo's mirror matches in this. Because the 8 attack is so high that most of them will have lower attacks that you're going to win CMP. So you probably would have won that Rock Tomb CMP. So now not only did you burn a shield, messed up on the switch, got into this matchup where you just burned a second shield. You may get a second shield back here, but if they want to take a shield advantage, they can. Nope, they want to get the Sky Attack off and take you out. Your magcargo is going to come in with energy. So, nope, Ferrothorn for some reason, and they can make her go. What the hell is happening? I know Sand Attack would have been double super effective, but the Incinerates would have destroyed this, and you would have come out with like 100 energy. So getting to this move, now you're low enough that you got to worry about a Sand Attack taking you down, but now Gastron's going to one slap you down. Getting to this right away. This will one shot because it's double super effective and it's a good move. Yeah, the only thing I would have said is maybe you farm up a little more than that. This is double resist. They're so low, I don't think it matters. But you are double resisted. But if they get to another move here. No. Double resisted bullet seed. Ooh. That was close. I think a lot closer than AC. Man, limited cups. Yep, limited cups. Ferrothorn, good lead. Tentacruel, another just hard answer here. Unless they're running Blizzard. Like a Blizzard could scare you. Blizzard would put on, but that's kind of slow to a Blizzard. Like, yeah, you need a lot more fast moves than, oh my god. Oh man. Did we learn nothing from the earlier? They did also shield the first time up. Okay, and now we're shielding a Scald here. Okay. So we just threw 2 flash cannons at the Tentacruel. Oh, what a great YouTube video. We just had like 30 seconds of silence there. Okay. I've asked this question before, and I'm going to put it out there again. Now we have a Gastrodon magcargo, so this game's over. You watch my channel. You watch it enough that you submitted some videos for review. If you are... Oh, wait, you have a full GOLISOPOD? Maybe this game's not over. I forgot what's left. I was just so distraught with the double flash cannons there. Ferrothorn. Let's actually watch this matchup because you're pretty loaded with energy. Oh no, but if they have a Power Whip and then they're just going to outpace you because they'll live in the next move. Thunder will take you out. Yeah, okay. Not even close. Okay. Back to my thoughts. I'm going to ignore these Whale Lord. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Tough to ignore. Okay. You're not, and this isn't just a call out to you because there's definitely other subscribers who have done this as well. There's people here who, longtime subscribers of the channel, longtime submitters for me to review videos. And if you, quite honestly, I know the player base for GBL is small, but if you are already putting in the effort to like watch GBL content, I think that probably puts you ahead of where most people are who play GBL anyways. Like you're going to have the beast who've been playing and always hit leaderboard and always hit legend. But then there's probably a lot of people who like don't watch GBL content and just like play on the side when they can. So I think you actually like, those of you who are watching right now are, I think, put on average more effort in than the average person who plays GBL. With that said, I'm always so dumbfounded when I have a subscriber send me videos like this, making mistakes that are beyond basic. Like the first thing you need to learn, I kind of mentioned there's like 10 things you need to learn for GBL to hit to legend. But the first thing you need to learn is typings. Like there's no way around GBL or even the Pokemon main series games. You need to know typings. And many, many times in these videos, I can see that you do not know your typings. So it's just like, if you have put in enough effort into this to actually watch content and submit videos, but the first thing you need to know in GBL is typings. Like you can't submit to me and ask, can you tell me what's wrong with my game, when the foundation of your game is wrong. You don't know the matchups, right? So I explained this before, but for those of you who are sort of newer to this channel, GBL, here's how you get out of these different rankings. First thing you need to know, typings. That should get you the basis of ace rank. You need to know typings. If you want to make to that next sort of level, like let's say you want to get to veteran, like 2500, you need to know basic team comps. So what Pokemon are meta, what Pokemon are not meta, what Pokemon work together, and why they work together. So you need to know what covers each other's weaknesses. Need to know, what takes, like again, typings, what takes super effective if you're going to use a Pokemon, whether it's good matchups, whether it's bad matchups, where you need to switch, stuff like that. So just like the basic typing, meta sort of battle analysis. That it should get you, honestly, between that and just knowing Pokemon's typings and knowing just basic team comps and knowing the basics of alignment and stuff like that, should get you, I don't know if it'll get you to 2500, but it should get you in that 22, what's the ace to veteran range? Should get you in that like 2250 to 2500 range. To go from like veteran to expert, 2500 to 2750, then you need to start getting into like the fundamentals of the GBL. And those are, I always talk about these three for winning games. There's 3 win conditions: energy, switch, and shield advantage. And you need to know the ins and outs of those. You need to know, like, okay, who's my, like that ferrothorn matchup. I think you correctly identified the ferrothorn was the windcon in that matchup. So it's like, who's my windcon Pokemon? Do I need a shield advantage with it? Do I need energy advantage with it? Do I need switch advantage? Like on that one there, when they had a Gastrodon on your magcargo and you safe swapped into GOLISOPOD and they came into ferrothorn, there should be no doubt in your mind, I need to fight for switch like crazy because I need this switch to have a chance to win this matchup, because I cannot have the Gastrodon align with the magcargo. I have no chance. So like you need to, then that's where the 25 to 2700 range comes in, when you start to understand this, the win cons, the switch, energy, and shield. You're also starting to get into like proper technical mechanics, fast move optimization, stuff like that. So like knowing if I have If I'm against an Incinerate user and I have a Shadow Claw user, optimal timing is I go 2 Shadow Claws to go 4 and then a charge move, so that minimizes their energy. The second best scenario sort of thing is like 4 Shadow Claws, so it's 8 versus 10. Like, you just need to know those number for the technical. And then I think the 2700 to 3000, there's 2 things that get you there. I think one is knowing it's now stuff like sack swaps, catching, like some of those a little more advanced things, and consistency. Honestly, you cannot be going 0-5 and 1-4. You need to limit your losses to 2-3, because the ELO range for the variations there are big, right? So if you go 2-3 or 3-2, you're winning or losing 12 points. If you go 1-4 or 4-1, it's like a 40-ish to 50 point swing. And then when you're going like 0-5, 5-0, it's like a 70 to 80 point swing. So you can pile up a bunch of losses losing sets. But if those sets are 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, and you have a losing set day, but you go 2-3, and then you offset that with a bunch of 4-1, 5-0s the next day, you're going to be substantially higher in ELO than you would be if you went like 3-2s for a bunch and then a bunch of like 0-5s. Like, you have to be a little more consistent in the ending there. And I think you just get that through like practice and trying to get through all that. But honestly, start with the basics. Start with learning the typings. You can get to, you said you've never been above ace except for now. You can get to, like I said, between 2200 and 2500 with ease if you just understand typings and you understand the matchups of the typings. Like get a basic balanced team. This is a pretty good balanced team for this meta, especially. Get a balanced team like this, and it's just very easy. Magcargo. I'm staying in with anything. Basically, I'm staying in with anything except for maybe like a fighter like Poliwrath, like waters. If I see a water, I'm probably leaving. If I see a fighter like Lucario's kind of tough because it's a steal, so I'd probably stay in there too, because you're actually double weak to fighting on this team. But you know what you stay in with, and you play it out. And then if I see the waters like the Gastrodon, instant swap to GOLISOPOD, and then go from there. And if you just know that basic like matchup strategy between that and typings, you should get to 2300, 2400, 2500 with ease, quite honestly. But you got to know those basic foundations. Anyways, that's a bit of a side as we end this video. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.